Hello, and welcome to the Cinema Gold podcast. I'm your host, Larry Elise, and today we're going to be giving our review of the new film Chaos Walking. First, we'd like to thank our sponsor, Poddex. Poddex is a unique tool to grow your audience, improve your content. Visit poddex.com and use promo code Cinema Gold for 10% off your order. So let's get right into our review. Chaos Walking is one of the few new films to debut during the pandemic. It stars Daisy Ridley and Tom Holland. It was filmed in 2017, more than 4 years ago. 2 years later, in 2019, it underwent reshoots, and now it's finally coming out this weekend. So it hasn't had the easiest route to release. Chaos Walking really struggled to draw me into the film. It takes place in a dystopian world where there are no women and living creatures can hear each other through each other's thoughts in a stream of images, words, and sounds called noise. I first heard about this movie a while ago when Tom Holland was first brought on board. Charlie Kaufman wrote one of the early scripts, and apparently it was changed so many times, he's not even credited as a producer or writer. I doubt anything he actually contributed ended up in the film. I'm just not seeing him writing this one, at least based off what I saw, because this is one of the messiest movies I've seen in a long time. It feels like there's no structure to this movie, and if this film is a result of reshoots that fixed whatever it was, I can't imagine what it was before. The film doesn't feel like it has much of a structure. Daisy Ridley's character crash lands in this new world, which is not Earth. Tom Holland's character, who's walking around with this misty, foggy bubble that sometimes appears around his head, with his thoughts just being heard by everyone, including images and impulses and everything that he might ever think. When people discover that Daisy Ridley has a path off this planet, Mads Mikkelsen, the mayor of this town, begins to hunt Daisy Ridley and Tom Holland as they're on the run to flee from this guy, who I guess would really like to get to her pathway off this planet because she has the ability to call some people who can maybe come down and take them to someplace else. I don't know. It's a strange motivation. As I was watching the movie, that was one of my biggest questions. It's a film where you can hear everyone's thoughts, but you don't know anybody. It's a film where the characters are mostly on the run the whole time, but you don't really know why. You understand that the villain has a goal of getting to a ship that could maybe call another ship, but then what's he going to do next is to convince the ship that comes that he should be taken off, and all these other people at gunpoint. It's just a strange story, and never once did I feel invested in it. It's a story that feels like it restarts every 25 minutes, like you know what the movie's about for a while, and then it becomes about something else, and they almost forget what it was about at one point in time. Daisy Ridley's character barely speaks for a long time in the film, which really didn't do any favors for her character either, and Tom Holland and her in the script. The characters are kind of pitted against each other, even though they have to work together, which does a real number on any chemistry potential between the two, because they're supposed to sort of not like each other for a long time. And so you have two people who are in the woods running from bad guys who don't really like each other and don't really want to talk to each other. And you're not really sure why the bad guys are following them, because you can't really follow the logic of their plan, nor can you follow the logic of the hero's plan, except don't die. So you really have a hard time getting invested in that. Plus, it's jumbled as crap. It doesn't feel like the scenes build to the next scene. Chaos Walking, my bad, doesn't feel like a logical progression of events. It just feels like a series of events that have no real connection with each other. And the film does take some stabs at humor. The fact that Tom Holland occasionally imagines romantic things with Daisy Ridley's character, and he can't keep her from saying that because they're in his head. There are occasional moments where the film goes for comedy, but there's a lot of missed opportunities. Like, for instance, one of them could have gotten a song stuck in their head and it just keeps playing at various times. And they're trying to figure out what the song is, and that could have made them bond a little bit because maybe the other person remembers what the song is. There's just a lot of opportunities that they didn't really explore when it comes to what you could do if you had the ability to generate actual images from your thoughts. They use them in certain ways, but usually just through combat or through deception, and sometimes it was interesting. The concept behind this movie is interesting. It's just that they kind of threw a bunch of boring people into the concept. And when you have Mads Mikkelsen, the greatest gift to acting that's ever been given, and Tom Holland and Daisy Ridley all in the same movie, and it's just like something's wrong, I'm going to give Chaos Walking a C. I think there are going to be a lot of people who enjoy watching this movie, but I just took nothing from it. It didn't impact me in the slightest. There were so many moments that were supposed to be powerful that meant nothing to me, and I'm not surprised it sat around for as long as it did. That's my review of Chaos Walking. Let's share your thoughts with us on Twitter at CinemaGold2, or you can send us a voice message and let us know your thoughts about this movie by calling 682-305-0483, and the number is right there. Right there. And if you want to support us, you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/cinemagold. There's plenty of tiers you can choose from $5 up to $50. Or you can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/cinemagold. There you can pay any amount you want. So thanks for listening, and we'll see you soon.